Once upon a time, in the Far East, there was a wise emperor who was growing old, and he knew it was time to choose his successor. However, amongst his children and his assistants, he couldn't find exactly what he was looking for. And therefore he did something totally unheard of. He invited young people from all over his kingdom to come to his palace on a specific day. And once they assembled, he said, "It's time for me to choose the next emperor and train him personally to succeed me. And I have decided to choose one of you." And this obviously shocked the children. And so he continued, "I'm going to give each one of you a special seed today. And I want you to plant it, water it, and come back here exactly 1 year from today with what you have grown from the seed. I will then judge what you bring and choose the next emperor." One of the children who were there, a boy named Ling, was very excited about this. After he received his seed, he went home and told his mum all about it. She then helped him to get a pot and some planting soil, and he planted the seed carefully and watered it regularly. Every day, though, as he cared for it, he would be disappointed because nothing showed. After about 3 weeks, some of the other children began talking about their seeds and the plants that were beginning to grow. Ling kept checking his seed, but nothing ever grew in his pot. And as time went by and everyone bragged more and more about their magnificent plants, Ling felt more and more like a failure because he had nothing to show in his pot. Finally, a whole year passed, and the day arrived on which everyone took their plants to the palace. Ling still had nothing. So he told his mum that he wasn't going to take an empty pot to the emperor. But his mum just looked at him and asked, "Did you care for the seed and did the best you could for it?" "Yes, I did, but it still didn't grow," the boy answered. "No matter, you did your best. So hold your head high and be honest about what happened." Ling felt terrible, but he did as his mum said, and when he got to the palace with his empty pot, he was amazed by the sheer variety of plants and trees grown by all the other children. They were all so beautiful. And when the others saw his empty pot, many laughed at him. And so embarrassed, Ling tried to hide at the back of the hall when the emperor arrived. And as he walked in, he was clearly impressed by all the beautiful flowers, trees and plants in the room, but it seemed as though he was looking for something specific. And it was then that he spotted Ling's empty pot and asked him to step forward. Ling could feel his cheeks burn and knew he was going to be called a failure in front of everyone. But the emperor just smiled and asked his name. He then turned to the rest of the hall and said, "1 year ago, I gave everyone here a seed to plant, water, and bring it back to me today. But I gave you all boiled seeds that wouldn't grow. All of you, except Ling, have brought me trees and plants and flowers because when the seed would not grow, you substituted it with another seed. Only Ling had the courage and the honesty to bring me a pot with my seed in it. And therefore, Ling is chosen to become emperor after me." Friends, as we stand at the beginning of a new year, may I encourage you to be faithful with whatever has been entrusted to you. Don't envy what anyone else received or try and be something you are not. Be yourself and make the most of whatever has been given to you. Remember, Jesus himself said, "Whatever you sow, you will reap." So sow wisely and care wisely for whatever has been entrusted to you. And who knows what you will reap at the end.